Well, feeling a little bit sad today, lads. Not gonna lie to you. Not sad in the sense of like, oh, woe is me. Just a bit like, oh man, you know, downtrodden. That's probably a better term for it. And I'll tell you for why. So I went on a bit of a tangent today, where obviously with this like submarine story and that, I was like trying to remember the name of another deep sea submarine that I'd seen on YouTube. And it's called Nautilus, and they basically drop it down. It's unmanned, but they drop it down and they film all like the sea creatures on the deep seabed. You know, things that you wouldn't necessarily see further up. And photo opportunity. What's up, son? You didn't look happy. So I was watching these videos and it was like clips of these deep sea creatures, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh wow, imagine being like the first person to see this animal. I mean, it got me thinking back to like, you know, the 15, 16, 1700s, where blokes would just jump on a boat, cruise around the world, well not cruise obviously, but you know, sail around the world and see all these fantastic sights and animals that nobody had ever seen before, and what an adventure it must have been. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm never probably going to do that, because it's just not feasible, is it? You can't discover something that's already been discovered unless you're a multi-million pound operation with government funding and backing and stuff like that. And yeah, of course, you know, back then they would have had funding from governments and, you know, private industries to explore new trade routes and such, but the regular crew of any of those ships would be just blokes who were strong and knew how to sail, which you could just pick up and learn from a family member or by joining the service when you were like, you know, 8 or 9 years old. But that sort of undying want to explore the ocean and go about, again, unless you specialise in a certain subject or something like that, you know what I mean. I don't have to explain it to you all. You know, you're all fairly intelligent for the most part, and yeah, so I hope you understand what I mean when I say that sort of, it's right there, but it's inaccessible in the grand scheme. Like, I can't just jump on a boat and cart off around the world looking for cool things, and just imagine for instance, you know, you're sailing around, it's the 1700s, you know, you're at war with France again, and you're looking to block off their routes, and you find an uninhabited island, and you're just sailing along, you've got all your mates with you, and you see this island, and you think, oh look, is that on the maps? And then they're like, no it's not. And then it's like, oh brilliant, we've discovered a new island, right, get the cartographer up here, get him mapping this. And then you've got your cartographer on board, and he's like, oh brilliant, well done lads, you know, decently spotted there, what should we call it? It's like, oh, let's name it after royalty. Alright, yeah, bit niche, bit you know, bit unusual, but let's do it. And just adventure, that's what it is. Adventure. I mean, I'm not saying I'd want to be on a boat for months and months on end with you lot, but it'd be a bit of a laugh, wouldn't it? I mean, imagine that. Thing is though, I mean, I've been at sea, I've been on boats, and only really round here, like up and down this stretch of coastline, but you know, the idea of travelling the world and just interrupted by the NHS there, thank you. Yeah, seeing the world, just exploring, just getting out there, man, and just looking at that horizon and think, what is past it? What will we find? And that unknowingness Like now, you jump on a boat, you go that way, you're going to be pretty confident you probably hit France. And I'm not saying that we've not known that for a long while, but going that way and just carrying on going straight, you know, like, what's out there, man? Oh, I don't know what I'm on about. Just saying that's been tickling my brain today, really, being out at sea. What have they got in there then, I wonder? And I know this isn't a normal video in the sense that I'm just chatting shit, I'm not actually showing you anything, but I've just realised, just thought to myself, there is something I can show you. So we're going to go and have a look-see, and we're going to talk about it. See, I always think I'm quite lucky to live where I live because I've always had the sea right there, and this little section here of the old town is just jam-packed with history, and it's just a nice little spot. So up on the hill up there, you've got the East Hill lift, which is built in the late 1800s. It's undergoing renovation at the moment, but it is normally active, just not presently. And then these big old sheds that you see here are actually net huts. So Hastings actually has the largest beach-launched fishing fleet in northwestern Europe. Possibly even all of Europe, but I don't know. But yeah, these huts used to be used to dry out and mend the nets and things like that, and now they've been repurposed just as like little tourist attraction-y bits. And yeah, it's just a cool little area. It's just nice. So we've got the sort of show boats here, and then behind there you've got all the actual fishing boats. This is the Fisherman's Museum. We're not going to go in because I ain't got time today. But it's actually based in the old Fisherman's Church. So that is actually the old church for the fishermen. And I found out recently it's actually still an active church for local fishermen who want their kids or relatives to be baptised in there. They've got a font and they'll book it out and then they'll wheel it out and then yeah, do the old baptismo. So this little section of beach down here is really nice. It's quite quiet down this end. At this time of day it is anyway. If you come down here about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, you'll see a few locals going for a bit of a swim. And if you come down here during the day, it's pretty busy with families because it's quite a sheltered little area of the beach. But what I want to show you is actually part of the defence of this car park. So it's not too bad today, but normally, in fact it's not bad at all today, normally if the weather has been particularly bad, this entire area here will be covered in shingle, which is these stones on the beach. And yeah, this is what I want to show you. These bricks. Oh, there's a man. Hello, man. So these bricks here, they just look like sort of indeterminate blocks, but they're actually repurposed as part of the original wall here from tank blocks from World War II. Anti-tank blocks, should I say. Obviously, they've worn away over the years, you know, taking the battering of the sea. But I think that's pretty cool that they've been repurposed and reused. So these would have been dotted around the countryside, along with the fortifications that go all the way along the seafront. You had anti-aircraft batteries, obviously spotlights, things like that. And then further inland, you would have had the tank blocks. Careful. Of course, they do get slippy. Made it, never doubted you. Yeah, so tank blocks, anti-tank blocks, that's cool. And they've just been left here. They don't really do much though. Well, actually no, they do. They do break the waves quite nicely because the water comes around this wall here, circles round, and then it breaks before it hits all the cars and stuff like that. So they do a decent job, but it looks as though to me they probably need replacing and updating. I don't know how many we've got left though, but I'm sure it's some sort of storage. Oh, and then something else I'm going to show you as well. I should be able to get there actually. This was actually the subject of a Mark Felton video, which, pretty cool video. But he did a video about repurposed German sea mines being used and restored as collection bins for the maritime charity. Oh, look at that though, eh? That big briny blue. Maybe one day. Yeah, these sea mines were repurposed and reused as collection points for National Maritime Society or something like that. Basically, it's a charity that if somebody dies at sea, they step in and help anybody in the family who's left. And I think we should be able to access it this way. So we're just going to sneak through here and then go from there. There we go. We'll get a better view of these fishing fleets as well. Potentially, anyway. You can see them through the gaps in the sheds. These are all huts that are used by the fishermen to actually sell their fish after a day. And a lot of people do come down here and buy them, actually. But yeah, all the boats are actually on the beach. So, right, now where is it? Because you've got the well there, and I think there it is. Right, let's go this way actually, because that's a big old curb. I could have gone that way actually, but there we are. Oh, yeah. So yeah, they're just down here, or it is just down here, sorry. But as I say, there's a Mark Felton video about it, which is really good. I'm going to turn the engine off because I just realised this is just literally the pavement, so I'm just going to roll forward. And here we are. So this is a repurposed German sea mine. And yeah, normally this one's not actually used anymore, but normally there'll be like a little plaque saying what it is, who it's for, and then there'll be like a coin slot for you to put it in. But these are dotted all around the UK. So that's pretty cool. You can get a good sense of how big they were as well. And these literally lined the coastal regions in their thousands. Still got clay on the bike from yesterday. Ugh. Never mind. So yeah, that's pretty cool. German sea mine. I'm just going to jump in front of you. Hope you don't mind. Go left. So yeah, that's it really. I just wanted to just chat about the sea for a bit, because I think the sea's cool, man. And show you that little section of town as well. But yeah. As I say, I'll probably do another one. Probably not this week. Probably on Sunday, maybe. Unless I get inspired or think of something I can do midweek, then I'll do another one then. But if not, it will be Sunday. But I'll let you guys know in the threads anyway. And hopefully Rabbit will stop bullying me